Hey everyone, welcome back to another video for the Detroit Lions. Today I'm going to be talking about the new schedule that has been released for the Lions. And I'm going to be making a win-loss prediction based off rosters and I think overall talent and how good roster versus roster is going to be. And my score predictions. So let's get into it. San Francisco. They honestly just have the better offense in my opinion. The only thing I think the Lions have a better group in is the running back core, which contains Swift, Jamal Williams, Jamar Jefferson, Raheem Boyd, and I think just Swift and Williams is better than the rest of this running back core. Sherman was unproven and lacked consistency at Ohio State. Goldman has been a nothing burger really, and Jeff Wilson Jr. has been but the only consistent player has been Raheem Mostert. The rest, yeah, I can totally see better tight end core. Better left side of the O-line, and the right side is arguably, if Mike McGlinchey just returns to his old form, he's going to be better. Now, it does depend, because I don't think it's much of a difference, though, if Sewell is who people say he's going to be, because I think the Lions have the better center. I think Ragnow is better than Mack, by far, and I think Sewell's who he's supposed to be. Supposedly he's supposed to be Trent Williams. And if he's a Trent Williams for us and you already got Taylor Decker on the left side, that's pretty dang good. And if Jonah can improve from 5 sacks and cut those down a bit to 3 or 4, pretty even O-line. The issue is right guard. I'm not a big fan of Big V. I do really like Logan Stenberg. I'm going to do a video on him later on saying, not saying he could be the potential right guard, but that he could be a good guard for the future. But overall, I don't think it's enough to really stop them. I think Jared Goff is slightly better than Jimmy Garoppolo due to the fact that Goff's height stats are better than Garoppolo's. But I don't think there's much of a difference considering the fact they have the same career accomplishments, both went to the Super Bowl, both have winning records. The defense obviously goes to the San Francisco 49ers. They have Nick Bosa on that D-line, and they have D Ford on that D-line. And even if Armstead is a bit overpaid, he's still a great player. Kinlaw was a first-round draft pick, and if he can look to his highest, they even got a good rotational defensive tackle in Hurst. And with Nick Bosa returning, we'll see if he explodes and gets past his 9-sack season that he had in the rookie year, but even then he was an absolute monster in terms of pressure stats. They also got a superior linebacker core, which contains Trey Greenlaw, Fred Warner, and Samson Beckham. There's no counter argument that the Lions have a better anything really other than running back core than the 49ers. I do think there's a bit of a competitive thing though. Robert Saleh is gone, so will all these guys play the same? Samson Beckham is not that dominant, but Trey Greenlaw and Fred Warner are. Now Greenlaw is coming off, I do believe it's a worse season. Trey Greenlaw, I believe he did have a down season compared to his other year, but I don't think it's enough. I think Fred Warner itself is just enough to say, okay, they have the superior linebacker core, and Nick Bosa is better than anyone the Lions have on the D-line, other than maybe, I guess, statistically Romeo, but Nick Bosa's just mere presence and pressure numbers make him better than Romeo. And I think he'll take the jump. I think Kinlaw and Hurst are going to be great defensive tackles. D Ford is a great pass rusher, and Armstead got a big contract for a reason. He's a good promising player. Tart and Jimmy Ward are good players. And the only concern I have for the 49ers is their cornerback core. None of these guys are really, in my opinion, that much better than anyone on the Detroit Lions. Jason Verrett has injury issues, but he has been good when he's out. But the rest of these guys, Ryan Bullock is a good slot, but I don't think he's much better than Corn Elder. And he has had a lot of regression seasons. There's a reason Cleveland let him go. Corn Williams does have potential. I do think he's a pretty solid player. The Lions, I even think, tried to get a workout for him. Embry Thomas, we'll see what happens with him. And I I don't know. I think a cornerback, if Okudah becomes who he was supposed to be, there's definitely potential there. But I think the Lions maybe could have the better cornerback core, which contains Quinton Dunbar, Amani O, and if Okudah is supposed to develop, you have him in a Corn Elder, or whether it be the undrafted free agent out of Kansas State at that slot. And then you also have third-round draft pick Iffy. I do think there's potential that they could have the better cornerback core, and if Tracy Walker returns to 2019 form, I don't think the safety gap will be too big. That we still have a good safety in there, so at least the Lions will have, in my opinion, a better secondary. But other than that, I think the Lions could win because I don't think the skill gap is huge between the Niners and the Lions, and not to like say it's a for sure Niners win, but I think the Lions will be competitive. 24-21, Niners get the win. The Lions start off 0-1, but they at least are competitive in their first showing. And by the way, if you couldn't really tell, there's already 6 minutes to this video. I'm gonna do a part 1, maybe even for 3, considering the fact how long these could take. Next, we're gonna be moving on to Green Bay. So it depends on where I end here. I might just end anywhere. But we're going to go Green Bay now. Green Bay, comparing that with the Detroit Lions, and their team, it depends if Rodgers is here. If Rodgers is here, I don't really know who could win this game. We don't know how good Jordan Love is. And can Love even beat out Blake Bortles? Aaron Jones has shown that he can decimate us, and A.J. Dillon's a great player. But are they going to be as good of a running back duo as Swift and Jamal? The Packers have the superior receiver core, but in my opinion, only because of Devontae Adams in there, and Van de Scaling did give us, and Allen Lazard are not too bad of players. These two have definitely killed the Lions before. And Tanayan is definitely a good tight end. He's almost as good as T.J. Hawkinson. The O-line's going to be interesting. Bakhtiari, I think, is a better defensive tackle than Taylor Decker. I think he even had a better year. Hold up. Bakhtiari. BFF. Just look at their sack numbers real quick. Yeah, Bakhtiari, despite playing less snaps, was better than Taylor Decker. And Elgton Jenkins is solid. Let's compare that Elgton Jenkins, BFF, to Jonah Jackson, who had 5 sacks. Once again, better O-lineman. You then even got Josh Myers, who's interesting because I believe that's their draft pick, right? I believe that was their initial draft pick in the second. Yeah, Josh Myers. So he's unproven as a center, so I can't really base off him. But I think it's pretty obvious that Frank Ragnow is a better center than an unproven rookie. Then we'll go to right guard to Lucas Patrick, PFF. And then look again, definitely better than Big V. 3 sacks allowed to the 5 that was allowed there. And right tackle, you have the unproven Sewell versus the proven Billy Turner, who's one of the better O-linemen in the Packers team. Only allowing 2 sacks on over 850 snaps. So I can't say Sewell is a better tackle no matter how much I like him. I don't think he'll become Trent Williams year 1, so I think overall the Packers just have the better offense, other than maybe quarterback, depending on how good Jordan Love could be and if Aaron Rodgers is here. The defense is going to be interesting. The Smith brothers have reduced, other than, of course, Adarius. Kenny Clark is definitely great, but none of these other guys really scare me on their pass rush. And I don't know. they still, I don't think anything they really added really makes you say they're going to be able to stop the run. I think they'll still struggle against the run. And I think this can be a competitive game. Rivalry games, let's compare real quick to the Detroit Lions and the Packers roster real quick. The Lions, if they had a better defense, I could maybe get this game to. But it's just there's so many question marks on their defense. Their offense, I'm actually pretty confident, and I like Tyra Williams. I really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I believe Rashad Bateman is an underrated piece that the Lions have added. I like Quintez Cephas. I love D.J. Hawkinson. Taylor Decker's amazing. Joe Jackson's amazing. I like Rick Ragnow. Sewell, who people say is going to be great. Meh. I'd love to see Stenberg or Tommy Kramer move to the right guard spot. But, yeah. I think overall the offense is pretty on par, other than the receiver core with the Packers. My big concern is the defense and differences. Romeo, I think, is as good as any of their ends, but he's not better than the pass rusher than Zadarius Smith. Is it Zadarius or Preston? Hold up, let me make sure I'm doing. Yeah, it's Zadarius. Okay, sorry, I always mix up the Smith guys. But what I do think is the Lions will have an improved pass rush with the additions of Ali McNeil, Micah Brockers, and Levi O in the offseason. Ali McNeil's a great nose tackle. Levi's a great 3-tech. Michael Brockers is a great all-around defensive tackle and maybe nose. He could even come out and play end. Jamie Collins is a really underrated linebacker. Barnes had an underrated senior season. I'm also making a video on him on Friday. And Alexander Zone is, at least his familiarity with the two coaches, and has shown some promising moments throughout his career. Definitely not better than anyone of the linebacker cores, especially in terms of the middle linebackers. Really the only thing I could say, we maybe have better middle linebackers. Now, we'll see what happens with Julian Okwara, by the way. If he maybe plays outside, then maybe that's someone who can be just as good as Preston Smith, or if not better. The corner core definitely goes to the Packers, though, unless Quinton Dunbar returns to his 2019 season form, and once again, Amani O plays well, and Valuta becomes who he said he was going to be. Will and Tracy Walker are not better than Adrian Moss and Darnell Savage, even if Tracy Walker returns 2019 form better. I believe it can be close. And if Aaron Rodgers is not playing, like the media is saying, but my big thing is the media is always saying Aaron Rodgers is unhappy with the Packers and he wants to go, So I'm not going to base that off that until Aaron Rodgers is gone. And so I'm giving the Packers a dub. I hate to make them go 0-2. But I think that once again it'll be close. I think it's 21-17 Packers. And I think it could honestly be like a field goal to win it. Packers games have been historically close with Detroit, other than I believe it was the one blowout of 2020 when they were just with Patricia. Oh, sorry, 2 blowouts. Yeah, honestly, when they had Patricia, they actually did fairly well, other than 2020. And hope if Campbell is an improvement over Patricia, I believe they can be just competitive. It'll be competitive and good. I'm excited for that game. The next opponent is Baltimore, which contains Lamar Jackson. And woo, they're a pretty good team. Ronnie Stanley, Zeitler. Oh wait, he was terrible in New York. Villanueva, older, but he's been playing good over his career. Bradley Bozeman and Ben Cleveland. And of course, Lamar Jackson, who has been a top 10 running back ever since the sophomore season. But they do have the unproven running back core. And I would argue a worse receiver core. Their defense, definitely more proven. Definitely, Derek Wolf's pretty solid. Campbell's old. I'm not too scared about him anymore. I don't think O'Dave anyway is really that good. I think he was an overrated pick and not a good selection. Patrick Queen is an amazing linebacker, better than anyone the Lions have. I believe it's close though. I believe it's real close. So much so that I actually believe the Lions can win this game. If the Lions could. Now, let's compare real quick. Let's start with the O-line. Ben Cleveland, unproven, third-round draft pick. I don't believe he'll be better than the sophomore version of Joe Jackson. Bradley Bozeman, BFF. Not better than Frank Ragnow, right? Kevin Zeitler struggled with the Giants. I mean, didn't he allow, like, the same amount of sacks as... I remember a lot of Giants fans were telling me that he was just awful for them in 2019 when he was actually healthy. Apparently I was wrong. I don't understand why they told me that. Nonetheless, he's actually a really good player. He's going to be better than Big V. I was thinking of Will Hernandez. That's who I was thinking of for the Giants. Never mind, it wasn't Kevin Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler is actually a really good right guard. He's definitely better than Big V. That's for sure. Kevin Zeitler is definitely a good addition, but these two I don't think are better than Frank Ragnow and Jonah. Villanueva is better than, and I think will not be much better than Sewell. So I think I think the Lions have the better O-line, but only because I am a big believer in Jonah Jackson stepping up. And I'm a big believer in Sewell. But let's compare the offense. Like I said, this is, I think, kind of a big reason. Lamar is such a big reason why this offense is successful. If you go to the Lions and their stats, and their depth chart, J.K. Dobbins versus Swift. I don't think there's much of a difference here. J.K. Dobbins, while definitely amazing, supposedly had a better O-line that contained Orlando Brown and Ronnie Staley in that group compared to Taylor Decker and Tyra Crosby and Big V, though it's injured. And they had to go with Ode Abushi. And yet he still got 4.6 and 8 touchdowns. And the fact is, Swift is actually barely used. If you actually look at his game log, this guy was barely used to begin the season. And he was just... any Lions fan will tell you he was underutilized. When the Lions kept putting in Adrian Peterson, they took away a lot of momentum. But... I'm not saying J.K. Dobbins is worse or is less better than Swift. I'm just saying, look how many more attempts this guy got. Of course, in the season, the team built on his momentum. Like, they gave him much more opportunities than I think they were probably awarded. Some people thought they were, but it's this big part that I think makes it better. I think J.K. Dobbins had a better rookie season than Swift. But the Lions added this guy, Jamal Williams. If you look at his... it's just I don't know why ESPN's just not working for me, guys. That itself alone is better than J.K. Dobbins. And then, he's a very consistent, very good player. That's what I really like about the Lions, is they have that running back core. And if we go back to the Lions and we go back to the Ravens, I believe also that Swift will have a bounce back. Not bounce back, but will have a breakout season. And I think Jamal Williams will just continue to Jamal Williams. I think Jamal Williams is better than Gus Edwards. And I believe in Jamar Jefferson. Can be better than Justice Hill. It's next to the receiver core. Marquis Brown, Devin Durovoy, Tyron Wallace, and Sammy Watkins are the precision starters, from what I've heard. Let's compare. Tyra Williams versus Marquis Brown. Also, of course, the Ravens have Rashad Bateman as well. I'll talk about it. Marquis Brown versus Tyrell. Look at those averages. If Tyrell had the same amount of catches as Marquis, Tyrell would have had more yards. Tyrell does not have drop issues. Marquis does. If Williams is healthy, I firmly believe he's a better receiver. He's even had in 1,000-yard season, I believe it was 2017 or 2016. It was 2016. Okay. He's had the 1,000 yards when he was in San Diego. And Marquis Brown, I just don't think is as good, even in his rookie year. Now, so I don't think it's a much large difference, but definitely a difference. But then, you had Devin Durovoy versus Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman with Sam Darnold, nonetheless, by the way. Completely better. More receptions, more yards, more touchdowns, and more average yards per catch. Now, and that was with Sam Darnold and Joe Flacco and Adam Gase as his offensive coordinator. Now, so the Lions have two better receivers right now, and we'll see what happens next. Now, here comes Sammy Watkins and Rashad Bateman. Listen, how good has Sammy Watkins been? Someday, guys. Nothing bigger. This guy wasn't even that much better than Rashad Bateman. In fact, if Rashad Bateman had as many catches as he would have had more yards. 2019. He wasn't much better than he was worse than Tyra Williams. And he just hasn't been as dominant. And next we're going to bring up Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman, I don't really know who you can compare it with. I can't make any projections off this guy. He is a first-round pick. Picked at number 27. I like him. I think he's an OBJ-like player. Except, here's my issue. I don't understand why he was drafted. I don't think he fits Lamar. I think Lamar is like the deep threat or yards after the catch kind of guy. And those are the guys that have success. I don't think Rashad Bateman's going to be much better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. You want to know my evidence is for that? Marquis Brown, as I just showed you, didn't even have 600 yards his rookie year with Lamar. Marquis Brown didn't even reach 1,000 yards in his first 2 years with Lamar. And here's another big reason. Let's look at John Brown's time with the Ravens. If we go to John Brown, gosh, man. If we go to 2018, he didn't do as good with the Ravens. Then 2019, he goes and joins the Bills, and he gets 1,000 yards. Michael Crabtree. That's also counting the fact that he had to play Flacco, though. I will give him that. Michael Crabtree didn't do any much better than Rashad Bateman. Now, granted, he was older, but no Ravens receiver has had success with Lamar. It's mostly been the tight ends like Mark Andrews. And even then, Mark Andrews is the only tight end who has success. Hayden Hurst left after looking like a complete bust, and then he went and had a great season. Don't believe me? Hayden Hurst. Let's go. Let's compare his Falcon seasons to his rate. You know what? Screw it. I'm not even gonna. Hayden Hurst, NFL.com stats. Let's compare that to his Ravens years. He sucked. He goes and joins Matt Ryan and does a lot better of a job. 6 touchdowns, 571 yards. Lamar, I don't think, I'm not dissing Lamar. I'm not saying he can't pass, like a lot of people are saying. But I'm just saying, historically, the passing attack of the Ravens, other than Lamar having leading the league and passing touchdowns, yards-wise just doesn't do much better. And last year there was arguably regression. I just don't believe that a rookie Rashad Bateman, I do believe he could be an 1,000-yard receiver one day with Lamar, is better than anyone on the Lions, other than maybe Quintus Cephas. I think he's definitely better than Quintus Cephas. I believe Amon-Ra St. Brown is better than Tylan Wallace. I'm sorry. Rashad did nothing last year. Yeah, he got 1 catch. There's nothing that the Ravens have other than Mark Andrews that's better than anything the Lions have. The defense, on the other hand, I think is what could give them the chance to win. Derek Wolfe, Goliath Campbell, older. I don't think he's a threat anymore. I'm not scared of him. And Patrick Queen and McAfee. And LJ Fort's a pretty underrated part, but he's more of a run guy. Chuck Clark and Elliott and Marcus Peters. I think the Lions could have an equally as good defensive game. I think you're actually going to receive regressed here from the Ravens defense. Why do I think so? Well, let's look at Derek Wolfe's age. This guy's old. He started his career in 2012. I believe he's in his 30s now, isn't he? Yeah, he's 31 years old. How old's Goliath Campbell? 34. I think he's just. I'm sad to say this, but I think this is the age where you think there's going to be that age is going to hold them back. This is not me downing on the Ravens D-line, but I think you're going to see regression from that. You got guys who are going to be older. And nobody defensive tackle as a pass rusher. Now he's a nose. He's a great nose. Look at his run stats are great. Look at that. But in terms of pass rush, I don't think they're going to be able to get to Goff. I'm sorry, I don't. And I don't think their secondaries could be good with the additions of Sean Wade and you have Marlon Humphrey and Peters. That's the only thing I think they're really going to be like dominantly better at. Patrick Queen's great, but really, I don't think there's that much talent difference. I think the Ravens will have the better defense. And Lamar's obviously better than Goff, but I think this could be a win for the Lions. I think this is going to be a shock win. The Lions are going to be pissed off that they're starting off 0-2, and they pull off the surprise win. I think Lions win 24-21. Surprise victory versus the Ravens. I'm going to get a lot of flack for that one. Oh well. Next, the Lions are heading over to Chicago. I believe it's a dub. I'm sorry. The Lions would have been the Bears in Week 1 last year if Swift caught the ball. And I think the Bears regressed. The only thing they've added, I think that will aid them, is Tevin Jenkins. Fields is not going to be playing Week 4, probably, unless Dalton's hurt. I don't believe Dalton's much better than Trubisky, and I believe the Lions are much, much better. And I'm going to talk to you why I believe the Lions are going to go 2-2. Which, by the way, I'm going to start week 4 here, since this is 30 minutes. I'm going to try some advice. Goff better than old Dalton. Swift better than the entire running back core. Allen Robinson only got proven here. The rest of these guys haven't done much. Mooney has potential. Proven. Not mean unproven. Unproven. The rest of these guys I don't believe are entirely better than, make themselves any better than the rest of the Lions. Whole line. Hicks is older. Only got a D-line other than Khalil Mack that scares me. And Mack got shut down by Matt Nilsson and Crosby. I believe it's possible. Robert Quinn had a bad year of Chicago. Didn't do anything. Only thing they have better, in my opinion, is the linebacker core. I believe the Lions have the better cornerback core after letting go of Kyle Fuller. And I believe they have the better safety core. Lions win 24-14. They start getting it going. This is my video. This will be part 1, so it's probably going to be part 3 series. Welcome to the den, guys, and peace out.